Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Riseman, and my entry into mathematical education got started in kind of an interesting way. I was trained to be an English teacher at the University of Michigan and then taught at Andover for a year at a private school, and then taught in Port Washington, Long Island for another year. When the internet boom exploded in the late 90s, I got involved in corporate education at a couple of law firms in New York City, and then transitioned into alliance engineering work at a company called Sybase, now SAP. At that time, in 2000, the year 2000, I also started a tutoring company just for fun. I would help kids with their essays and college essays and anything with English, grammar, but I found myself being drawn into mathematics. I was always good at mathematics in high school, and I continued working with kids on the SAT, the ACT, SAT subject tests, and math. And that is, went from algebra to geometry to advanced algebra to trigonometry to pre-calculus, even to calculus. As I grew with mathematics, I realized I needed to go back to school to earn my certification in mathematics. So I returned to a local community college called Westers Community College, and I got my credentials for being a New York State certified math teacher. But then I continued. I went on for physics training, I went on for biology training, chemistry training, earth science training, social studies training, really everything, because I wanted to be able to help my students at every aspect of their education. Then I continued to work at Sybase, but I realized my passions and my income was growing much more quickly with my company. So in 2008, when the crash market just imploded, my position, thank God, was eliminated at Sybase, and I worked full time with Riseman Educational Consulting, which I've done to this day. At this point, I help kids in every aspect of their educational journeys, and I'm able to help them up into A, B, B, C calculus. I like geometry because the three-dimensional nature of it I find fascinating. To basically dissect a figure and explain it to a child really can open his or her world, and it helps he or she really understand what is being asked of that figure. For example, spheres, inscribed cubes, uh, anything three-dimensional is fascinating, I think, if explained in the right way. Also, kids are fascinated with four dimensions, and I try to talk about tesseracts with them as well. On a personal note, I've been married almost 20 years. I have two children. Elliot's 13 and Max is 17. It's a big year for me because Max is going into his senior year, so he'll be going into his college admissions with a flurry in just a few months. Um, I really like this course because I need to really expand my repertoire with geometry. I've always been very strong with algebra, algebra 2. Geometry I've been good with, but I really want to have strength when it comes to the three-dimensional work and basically dissecting and diagramming the figures without so much thinking, make it more automatic for myself. Um, I think this class will be good because I think we have a lot of different types of learners. We have hands-on tactile learners, and we have people like myself who are a mix of hands-on but also more old school learners trying to equip themselves for the future, more of the online, interactive computer type of learning that's essential for the younger generation. I look forward to meeting all of you, and here's to a good course. Thank you.